Hello. So before this roleplay begins, I just want to add like a kind of some words at the beginning. This is a sci-fi doctor roleplay, and it is a kind of plague epidemic doctor type of roleplay. If you are uncomfortable with dystopic, epidemic, pandemic situations, either because of real life experiences or because you just find that stuff uncomfortable, then you of course may not want to watch this video, even though it is a relaxing ASMR video. So it should be a very safe video to watch, but nonetheless I know some people can struggle with dystopic scenarios. But for those of you who enjoy combining those kind of scenarios with a doctor roleplay, please enjoy the roleplay. And let's fast forward to 21:05. Hello to you. Please sit down. Just calm down. Everything today is going to be fine, I promise. I am Dr. Adrian, and I've heard you come for a checkup. You want to check if you have the bacteria that's been going around recently. To check that you're not sick, that you're healthy. But again, just sit down, relax, and I promise nothing I do today will hurt. This should be a completely painless and comfortable, good process. I know there are a lot of people who have been a little worried about these checkups, wondering if they're painful or something. They're not. Don't worry. We don't want to add any discomfort after all to the situation, what's been going on. So we made sure that these checkups and tests and stuff are completely comfortable and feel good for the patients, so that we do not add worry to their day, but instead try to make them feel better and more relaxed. So how are you doing? I know it's been a somewhat difficult situation going on recently in a lot of countries in the world, with this bacteria spreading, contaminating the water supply of a lot of countries, and and of course you're wearing gloves. Good. So what we're going to be doing today to check if you have what bacteria is, I'm going to use a kind of scanner thingy to just scan you, so we can see if you have caught said bacteria. I'm going to go through the measures which are necessary now in this situation. Health measures for your safety. I'm going to ask you to stretch out your tongue afterwards. We are going to use a spoon, a pink spoon, plastic spoon, to use for the test, because one of the traits of this bacteria that's been going around is that it's known to cause a slight greenish tinge on the tongue, which we doctors can actually see. So I'm sure you don't have it, but this is a better safe than sorry kind of checkup. And then we are going to be using, some headphone stuff back there, so I can check and sort of listen to the rhythm and your pulse and stuff like that. We're getting more into that later, and I'm also going to do some face touching with the gloves, of course. I want to reassure you, I have washed my hands, I am wearing gloves, and I've even been scanned to make sure I do not have said bacteria, so I do not contaminate my patients. That would not be good. Okay, so before we begin, as you know, this bacteria spreads via touch. As you may know, you've probably been following the news recently. It's now been classified as an epidemic. It's a very serious situation. The world hasn't seen a health situation like this in more than 50 years. It's spread to multiple countries, and it's also known to contaminate water supplies for some reason. We do not know. But we know the bacteria has been found in river banks, rivers, streams, and in the water supply for some reason. And we also know it spreads via touch. It is not airborne. That's why I'm not wearing a facial mask now. But we know some people wear facial masks because of better safe than sorry, right? But we have already concluded that isn't strictly necessary. The bacteria spreads via water supply and touch. And that's why it's super important that everyone now wears gloves. And that's why I am wearing gloves today, because I'm going to be touching your face like very gently, and the bacteria has of course spread to many countries in Europe. It has not become a pandemic yet, but the health authorities do not believe it will become a pandemic, but it is a very serious situation, and it started in the Alps region and has now spread to, many countries like Belgium, Germany, Norway, Sweden, you name it, and France even. So, and now, lots of other continents have tried to sort of ban travel to and from these countries. So it's a quite serious situation. But you know what? Let's not talk about that now. We're going to get through the measures afterwards. But first I want to scan you, okay? And as you know, we scanners are very quick, so we should have your results by the end of our session today. A little fun fact for you. Do you know what? In the old days, you actually had to wait for like days, maybe weeks, to get the results of your test. Yeah, I know, sounds crazy. I know. So, okay. So a decade or two ago, they upgraded the old flashlights to become scanners. Scanners that are able to detect bacteria and stuff like that. They are equipped with this kind of X-ray, so they see through. So just stand still, okay? And just stand still. Just stand still and look directly into this, okay? No, we're not going to ignite this because we don't need that. We don't need that. We just need you to look directly into. Okay? Okay. Keep still. It's very important. Remember, this is for your safety. And you came here voluntarily today, right? You want to make sure you don't have that you haven't caught this bacteria. Keep still. Thank you. You're doing great. Just relax. Don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. Okay, some more. Please keep still. Thank you. Okay, good. Great, thank you. Thank you for your cooperation. Now, one of the other traits of this bacteria is what it's known when you caught it to cause slight lumps in the face. It doesn't affect the way you look or anything, but we health professionals, medicinal professionals, can actually sense these lumps when we touch the face. So I'm going to touch you now. Okay, you look so good so far. Your face looks even. Good. I'm just going to check for some more lumps. We may do this one more time later on, okay? After I'm done now, I mean. Okay, good. 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 So just keep your face still, you're doing great, don't worry. Yeah, beautiful, I think. Okay, yeah. Okay. So we're almost done now. I'm just going to do it for like 4 more times. Okay, it became 8 more times, but okay. So far your face seems good. Of course, we have to be on the safe side, you know, just to be absolutely sure. So we're going to do some further follow-up checkups. The reason, by the way, why we don't just rely on the scanner is because the scanner is, of course, very advanced new technology. It's not perfect, and we want to make absolutely certain. Okay, you know that's important. Better safe than sorry. Right. Okay. So now we're going to get through the measures of the situation. I'm sure you're aware of a lot of them, but we're going to get through them, go through them, all the same. So as you know, around January this year, a bacteria started spreading in the Alps region. It contaminated water supplies, streams, rivers. Despite that, we do not believe it is airborne, actually. And it also was known to spread via touch. And the first 4 months it was dominant in the Alps region, but then it started spreading to some other countries, and it increasingly became an epidemic as we entered summertime. And now, you know, what we're in autumn, the situation seems to have reached a climax, or at least the health officials of the world and health authorities believe we're in the worst of it now, with the epidemic now having spread to several countries and become the most significant epidemic-related threat seen in that part of the world for like more than 50 years. So it's a very serious situation, and because of that we have had to enforce some measures. It's been necessary. So what we've asked our citizens to do, of course, or what the health authorities asked citizens to do, and which we doctors fully support, wear gloves at all times, especially when you go to public places or the stores. Glove wearing, mandatory, you know. So I see you wearing your gloves. Good. So wear gloves at all times. I know. It's can be a struggle at times, but you know, when you go to public places, you should wear gloves. Okay, I'm going to show you something. So this is the new hyperboilers from the 20th century company. They hyperboil the water. And remember, always boil the water. Boil the water. Always boil the water. If you're using water, boil it. That kills the bacteria, essentially. So yeah. Okay. Good. And also, going to show you something else. Now, this is sea chocolate. A sea chocolate bar, you know, and I want to just say this. If you are touching something in the daily store or touching a chocolate bar, I advise, especially if you just bought it on the same day, to like wear gloves when touching the wrapper. Open the wrapper with your gloves, and then you can take the gloves off and eat the chocolate. Okay? The bacteria has been known to exist on objects too, and it does spread via touch after all. So that's very important for you to know, you know. That's okay? So, yeah. So in other words, take your gloves if you're at home and you're going to eat a chocolate bar and you just bought it on the same day. Take your gloves on. Touch the wrapper with the gloves, open the wrapper, and then you can take the gloves off and eat the chocolate. Okay? Okay. Is that okay? Good. So, as far as there are some symptoms the bacteria will cause, if you're taking a walk outside and you start feeling very dizzy and disorientated, that could be a sign you have the bacteria. A few people actually end up coughing a little, but that's not one of the most common traits. Slight stomach ache is another trait of the bacteria, but also dizziness, you know. So if you don't have any other conditions which can cause dizziness, and you're suddenly feeling dizzy, and and it's a regular day outside, if it's a day with a lot of breeze and wind, then the dizziness could be because of the wind. But if it's a wind still day, and you don't have any pre-existing conditions, and you're starting to feel dizzy, and that could be a sign that you have the bacteria. You haven't felt any of those things. You have not felt dizziness. Good. You haven't. That's good. And you haven't felt any rumbling in the stomach recently. I mean, a natural rumbling, not just. I'm not talking about normal rumbling, not like you're hungry or you're just a little full. I mean, like it feels a little wrong and natural. No, good. And no sudden onset coughing. No. Of course, coughing could be connected to just the flu too, of course, but if you have any of these symptoms, it is wise to check up with a doctor like you're doing now, but you're not here because you had any of these symptoms. No, good. Yeah. So what's the measures? Take on gloves in public spaces, and of course, boil the water, please. Boil the water. Yeah, boil the water. Good. Very good. You seem to be doing great at this public health safety stuff. Okay, I have a pink plastic spoon here, and I'm going to ask you to do a thing. Can you stretch out your tongue, because the bacteria is known to cause a slight greenish tinge on the tongue, which we can see. So stretch out your tongue for me, stretch out your tongue, and just let me put the spoon on your tongue very gently, of course. Good, very good, great, thank you. Okay, good, just stay still there, don't worry, I'll be gentle and careful, okay? And do it another time, please. Thank you. Stretch out your tongue, take your tongue on the spoon. Thank you. Just seeing if we can see the greenish tinge, and if we can see something from on the spoon now that could indicate what bacteria. No? Good. Very good. Now. Yeah. One more time, please. Please. Thank you. You're doing so great. Just calm down and relax. Don't worry. Everything is fine so far. Good. Great. Good. Yeah. Don't you worry. Just calm down and relax. Okay. Good. Yep. So good. Great. I have the pleasure, and it is a pleasure to tell you what I could not detect any greenish tinge on your tongue. So that's a good sign, okay? It's not a guarantee, but it's a good sign. We will do a few more further checkups. Can I just could you just open your mouth one more time? I'm just going to very gently. Okay, great, thank you. You can take your tongue back in. So everything does look good so far, but we have to do a few further checkups, just to be on the absolute safe side. Now, I'm going to take a slight, just to prepare the next tests, a slight, not break, but just use some time to prepare the tests, and while I do that, you can listen to the news. Is that okay? Yeah, I have good advice. I have some good advice to what you can listen to. You can listen to this sort of cool online audio news, whispered news, I think it's called, by Daniel Miller. He is doing this sort of concept where he tells the news in a more relaxing manner. So it's kind of like a whispered news story, Yeah, okay. You can listen to that while I prepare the next tests. Okay. Hello, I am Daniel Miller, and this is Whispered News Stories for you. The bacteria that's been plaguing the world recently is continuing to spread once it has spread from the Alps region to countries like Norway, Sweden, France, Belgium, the Netherlands and Luxembourg, and cases have been reported in China and America as well, and even one in Australia. However, the bacteria remains dominant in Europe. The bacteria has contaminated water streams, rivers and water supply of several of these countries and has now been classified as an epidemic. Health authorities do not believe it will become an pandemic, but calls it the most serious epidemic-related situation seen for more than a half century. Measures like social distancing, glove wearing and water boiling have become common. Chief of the World Intelligence Committee, Panit Hanuman, is expected to make announcements regarding new measures soon, and also to tour the Alps region where it all began, to show his support to the measures and to try and lift the spirit of the people impacted by the measures. As in the Alps region, checkpoints have been set around the most heavily impacted areas. These checkpoints are to make sure that people who have the bacteria does not travel outside their region. In related news, some people tried to get around the checkpoints by traveling through dangerous mountain passes in the Alps. This occurred in Switzerland. The group of people who were apparently in the dozens were apprehended near the border and have now been fined for breach of security and health measures, and also for endangering their own lives by trying to use this pass. Security guards have been stationed around the borders to try and prevent these kind of things from happening. The trend glow party is taking off online across the net due to the measures, due to everyone being requested in the impacted countries to wear gloves, and gloves wearing have become mandatory in schools, workplaces and public spaces. The glow party trend is now taking off online, with people being asked to take their gloves in the air and party. While some of these parties are social gatherings, but in the current situation, strictly speaking, is not legal. Other parties are online parties and are allowed by the authorities. In these parties, people, attendants wear gloves as a reference to the current situation and kinda as a joke. Glow party has now become one of the coolest trends online and in society among the youth. In other news, we are recently covering the rise of Panit Hanuman. We are recently covering the rise of Panit Hanuman, the world's most powerful man, born in Thai slums in the 2050s. Panit Hanuman, enlisted as a medicinal worker, doctor, and refugee support worker in the 2070s, became a representative to the World Intelligence Council in the 2080s, was held responsible for the World Council in 2090s, and in 2100 he was selected as chief of the World Intelligence Committee, essentially the World Council. He became the fifth chair in the world's months prior. Hanuman is now the world's most powerful man. So next week, we here in Whispered News will interview Hanuman and cover his rise from poverty to become the world's most powerful man. Halloween is coming up, and while social gatherings are forbidden now in a lot of countries, a lot of people are still planning to have this sort of global Halloween party celebration online. It is expected to be a joyous and colorful event to take people off the minds of the current situation, to take the current situation off people's minds. It is expected to be a colorful and vibrant event with lots of Halloween costumes and fun gatherings online going on. This was Whispered News. I'm Daniel Miller. Okay, I'm back. You kept yourself busy with the news while I was. Good. Yeah. I just find what Daniel Miller, because he whispers, can convey the news stories in a more relaxing, less over-dramatic way, you know. Like, By the way, what are your plans for Halloween? You know. I'm probably just going to stay at home and eat some candy, you know. Yeah. Okay. Shall we move on with the checks? Yeah. Okay. Apologies, that was a little loud. Apologies. Okay, so you can probably, this is actually, I know this looks kind of like one of those old-fashioned headphones, but it's actually something we doctors now use to sort of test the rhythm and the pulse of our patients, not only in the heart or chest, but their entire body pulse, you know, everything was sort of pulsing through them. Just wear these, please, for me. Can you do that? Thank you. You're doing so good, by the way. Good. Okay. Now, you're doing great. I'm just going to, I'm just going to go behind you and check that we sit as we should. Okay. You're doing excellent, by the way. You're a great patient, I just want to say that to you. Just relax, okay? I'm not going to plug this into you, don't worry. I'm just going to listen. Okay? Can you breathe a little for me? Like, you don't need to take any deep breaths or anything. Can you just breathe a little calmly for me? Like this, you know? Good, thank you. Don't overdo it, you know, just calmly. Yeah, you're doing great, by the way. You're doing it just like you should. Okay, good. Great. Yeah, it does seem fine so far. I'm just listening. Listening, you know, listening. Good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, can you just like, yeah, can you just say some words for me? Yeah, like, we can begin with the basic doctor stuff, you know. Say yeah, good. And then you can say, like, we can do some relaxing words, right? Yeah, I've heard what's relaxing for a patient, so relax, say the word relax. Great. And okay, tingle. And calm. Good. You can say the word good. Okay. Healed. Okay. Comfort. Good. I hope you're feeling comfortable right now, by the way. And listen. You can say the word listen. Great. Okay. Great. Excellent. Great. Apologies. apologies. Apologies where? Apologies. Apologies. Okay. So we're just putting those away. I'm just going to go behind you and check that everything's still okay. Great. 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 Okay. Okay. Great. Okay. Yeah, so no, there is still no indication that anything is wrong with you. Your pulse and body rhythm and everything seems to work as it should be. I could hear that both when you were breathing and repeating those words. I'm going to test for lumps one more time. I'm sure we'll soon have our results back. Yeah. Yeah, and you've done so great, by the way. I want to praise you. You've done so excellent. So I'm very proud of you, and I'm also grateful for you being such a cooperative and great patient. It means much, you know. Yeah. No, I don't know what the cause of the bacteria going on is. I know there are a lot of conspiracy theories online. I know, like it was some kind of laboratory research experiment gone wrong, which ended up contaminating the water supply, or the really crazy theories. But the government purposefully poisoned the water supply to enforce control of people. Just to be clear, I do not believe these conspiracy theories, but I've read them, of course, They've been making the rounds online. No, I was definitely not one of the people who was trying to pass through that dangerous mountain pass to get around the checkpoints now. I'm a doctor, and if I had done that, and been caught with those people as a doctor, first I would lose my job, and I would probably be blacklisted as a doctor. So yeah, if you're a doctor and you break public health measures, that's not a good thing. No. So no. Anyway, but yeah. No, I'm just going to touch your face, just to check for lumps. Again, apologies. Check for lumps. By the way, have you felt comfortable today? Yeah, I hope so. I hope you felt this has been a comfortable process. We try to make sure it is, for our patient's sake. Great. Yeah. By the way, I'm sure you also heard about the news about Pennant Anneman, the chair of the World Intelligence Committee. Yeah. Yeah, I just want to tell you something about him. My parents were just like me in the medicinal work, They ended up becoming doctors too, and before that they were refugee health workers, and back in the early 2080s, they actually, like more than 20 years ago, they worked with Anneman, and at least back then they said he was a very kind and good person, I have of course no idea how he is today, but I do like him, he goes around forging bonds, and he seems like a very kind soul, and of course it's also cool to now have someone who's been a doctor in that position, so yeah. But of course I hear a lot of different opinions from my patients, they have all kinds of different opinions on this matter, but I think it's kind of inspiring how Anneman, who was born into poverty, rose to become like the world's most powerful man, Yeah. So, yeah. But, yeah. Yeah. now he's been like shared for 5 years now, I believe. So I don't think. I know I'm a little biased because I'm a doctor, but I don't think we could have a better share. But of course, feel free to disagree with me. Feel free to disagree with me. You know. Because the patients have, my patients of course have lots of different opinions on animal and, you know, and stuff. But by the way, checking for lumps, checking for lumps, checking for lumps. Good. Okay. Doing so good. Checking for lumps, lumps, lumps. Some more, okay. Good. Okay, yeah. So, some more and then we're done. Okay. Beautiful. You've done so beautiful today. By the way, your test results are back, so just let me check them. Okay, and I'll be back with the results. Okay? Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. I've seen the results on the screen over there. I can reassure you. Everything looks great. The tests were great, the results are great from the scanner you did at the beginning, and you do not have the bacteria. You're healthy. So stay healthy, stay safe. Follow the measures and we'll get through this epidemic together, right? Right. And of course, be aware what health authorities are working on, not only vaccines, but also to try and eliminate the bacteria at the source by eliminating the bacteria in the water supply, you know. We're trying to find ways to eliminate the bacteria from the water so that this epidemic thing will pass, you know. Yeah. That's seen as a more permanent solution because we know what vaccines often are controversial with some groups. So we're working on the wall, eliminating bacteria stuff. Anyway, or they are working on it, but the doctors are actually assisting a little, you know. Anyway, thank you for being such a great patient today, and stay safe and have a great autumn, and in a few weeks time enjoy Halloween. Yeah, all the best to you. Hey, all the best.